Nadia Kessler, and I am originally from Russia. I work for Global Pittsburgh, which is a nonprofit organization. Global Pittsburgh was founded in 1959 as Pittsburgh Council for International Visitors, and it is a part of a network of 90-plus organizations around the U.S. With a mission of connecting Pittsburgh to the world. And my main programs are the homestay program and the membership program. So I basically place international students and scholars and visitors with host families upon their arrival to Pittsburgh to help them adjust to the new life. For example, one of our monthly networking event is open to anybody, not only immigrants, but to local residents as well. So my first friends, actually I met my first friends from France, Austria, India, and Zambia at the Global Pittsburgh event. Many communities have their presence on social media that is very helpful for people to get connected and ask questions. Where can we get a Russian notary, Russian lawyer, Russian restaurant? And although there are not very many Russian restaurants or stores, I know that there are a lot for families and for children. For example, there's a Russian theater and the Russian theater for children, where children participate. And there are also local groups that are just informally gather, and you can get the support that you need. Being a new mom, I have a 2-year-old boy. I think that a great effort from city or from government would be to implement daycares with this ethnic focus, because in my opinion, pretty much all immigrants would like their children to be tied to their community, to their native origin. So I speak Russian with my son, and so do my friends, and we would love if there was a daycare, for example, that would be Russian focused. And I know I've heard from some of my friends who are from different countries, from Turkey and Germany, that they would love the same for their children. I think that would, instead of maybe going back and forth several times a year back to their countries because it's expensive, if there was a presence of this small community here in Pittsburgh, that would make people happier.
My name is Saba. I'm 26. I moved to the United States 2 years ago. I started my master's degree in Nashville. That's why I moved here. So I finished last August, and then I moved to Pittsburgh. It's been 3.5 months, I guess, not even 4 months. So mostly grew up in Iran, some years not, but mostly in Iran. I did a bachelor's degree in pure mathematics. I started to be a teacher, and then I started working with refugee children from Afghanistan. My immigrant community isn't really that big, if I even know about it in Pittsburgh. Most Iranians live in LA. Generally, it's a good city to start. The housing prices are okay, which, I mean, I'm comparing it to where I'm from. Tehran it's weird. I mean, you can probably compare it to New York. It's bad. It's very bad, the numbers. And for that matter, it's city, not that crowded like New York, Washington, LA, where you get kind of like lonely in the crowd. But at the same time, it has the charm. You can walk. There's good parks. So and I don't know how it looks great. I like that. But other than that, there's some sort of diversity to it as an immigrant. I think it's I lived in Nashville, so I looked different. I mean, my height was different. Very important. And here I don't feel that way. There's a good thing about the nonprofits here, that they're diverse. The issues they work on is diverse. It's mostly like in Nashville, it was more like into missionary work, which is hard for me to get into as a person not relating to any faith or any affiliation. So that put me in a corner. on that matter, but here it's more open on the issues. It's like the reuse center, you have that global switch where you have a lot of educational programs, after school programs.
My name is Daniel. I am from Brazil, and I've been living here in Pittsburgh since 2014.
My name is Reyhan. I am from Turkey, and I came here 1.5 years ago, and I am a student in here. I am learning English.
My name is Lana Shami, and I am from Damascus, Syria originally, but I came here over 40 years ago, and originally to the Washington, D.C. area, and I've been in Pittsburgh for 14 years.
Speaking of Brazilians, there's one nonprofit organization called Coesa, which they do this great job of welcoming people and also like embrace them, because sometimes when newcomers they got into town, they're just like lost, and Coesa has been working with them in regards to give them like some assistance and also to provide them some activities.
My community came here, I think, because of education. Education is really good in America, in US, and also in Pittsburgh. There is a really good universities, CMU and University of Pittsburgh. Education should be more affordable for people, for my community, because I think my community came here because of the education, and if education is more affordable, they can try to come more here.
Well, I think we're doing a pretty good job in the Oakland area, where there's a lot of exposure at the university levels. So that age group is, there's been a lot of dialogue and interactions there because there is diversity. However, I live in like Mount Lebanon, and I feel like it's an isolated community which doesn't have a lot of diversity. So we have programs where at the high school level you go to, for instance, I also work at I volunteer at the Islamic Center of Pittsburgh, and we have that interaction at the high school level. I think it needs to start even at a younger age, the exposure, so that people will not be worried about anybody that looks different from them.
Better the dialogue between citizens and also the immigrants. I think that's my big hope for Pittsburgh. It's to create this communication channel between people they just arrived here in the city and people that they've been here for a long time. So I think dialogue is necessary.
So I work also with the refugees, the Syrian refugees, and a lot of people have been very embracing as far as the Mayor Peduto was trying to encourage that program to happen and encourage volunteers and trying to dispel the misconceptions about that. But a lot of outside people that don't really understand, they are still being fed by the media about negative things. So I think we need to do a lot of work as far as our leaders to help people understand that these are not threatening visitors and that they're going to serve a greater purpose for our community.
My name is Alet Mohammed. I was born in Egypt, Alexandria, Egypt, and I moved here to the United States with my family when I was 6 years old. Well, when I think about my immigrant community, I tend to think about the Muslim community as a whole. Even though we're not all immigrants, many of us are actually born here in the United States. But again, it's a community of, like, this whole country is a community of immigrants, I would argue. So I think I identify most with the Muslim community, mainly because we are a hot topic right now in politics, especially. So when I first came to Pittsburgh, I got into the Muslim Students Association right away. Through them, I got involved with the community, and I did a lot of things that I truly believed our community needed. We did a lot of outreach work. We held events where we encouraged other people to come and fast with us for a day to learn about fasting during Ramadan. And we would have themes such as helping, donating things for refugees or helping people out in Syria. I think awareness and education are the two most important things that could help my community right now. Whenever our community faces any kind of trauma or trouble, some of the things that usually help us are the solidarity that we see from the surrounding community, people who stand up and speak out for us. The Islamic Center, I know, always gets support from neighbors and the surrounding Pittsburgh community, notes of love, notes of support. Muslims are everywhere. They're police officers, they're doctors, they're every single type of job around here. They're there and they're contributing to society. And I think it's very important for people to be aware of that. I think something that I would love to see is to have that diversity come together. Oftentimes we have bubbles of diversity all over the city. And I think combining those bubbles together and really becoming exposed to the different cultures that fill the city, I think that's definitely something that is a definite strength in the city that I think isn't being taken advantage of currently. The Global Switchboard held We Move events this past year, where they invited people to participate in parties, different cultural parties all around the city. They were hosted by different cultural organizations, and that's the most fantastic way that you can get someone exposed to different cultures, is going out and eating their food and dancing with them and listening to their music. I think that's amazing.